Well, our friend Matt Walsh is the author of a riveting book called What is a Woman? And he's also the host of the documentary of the same title. Now, he's been to our show several times, most recently to discuss his expose of Vanderbilt Medical Center's transgender program. He recently made perhaps the most succinct summation of what is at stake in the midterm election with this one simple yet revealing tweet. Here's what Matt said. The Democrats have settled on their closing argument. Vote for us so that we can castrate children, use your money to pay for abortions, and put pornography in the schools. And if you don't vote for us, then you're a Nazi and democracy will die. Wow. You know, that pretty well sums it up. I mean, if you give power to the Democrats, you're giving it to the most extreme leftists ever to hold power in the entire history of the United States. Hey, these are not your grandfather's Democrats. And if you don't vote for them, you're going to be labeled a bigot, transphobe, racist, fascist, and a Nazi. Yep, somehow you're going to be all of that and even worse. By the way, if you watched the debate in the Pennsylvania Senate race between Dr. Mehmet Oz and Pennsylvania Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman, you might realize that Democrats aren't even pretending to put forward candidates who can make sense or get through a simple sentence. They expect you to vote for them because they've told you that Republicans are bad. Now, here's just a sample of the cringe-worthy performance of John Fetterman this past week.
What qualifies you to be a U.S. Senator? You have 60 seconds.
Hi, good night, everybody. I support fracking, and I do support fracking. We can't have businesses being subsidized by not paying individuals that just simply can't evade to pay their own way.
I should have offered a $100 bill to anyone in the studio audience who could tell me what he just said. I don't know. I'd keep the $100, I'm pretty sure. Look, to be fair, I realize Fetterman is recovering from a stroke and has been for the past 5 months. But he has chosen to remain on the ballot and to pretend that he is healthy enough to carry out the rigors of duty that he would have as a U.S. Senator. And the press has gone along with that. Well, at least until he finally attempted to show up at a debate. And despite being given two 70-inch TV screens to see the questions on closed captioning, he struggled to understand the questions or to be able to give a coherent answer. If Pennsylvania voters should actually elect him, then we truly are staring at the last days of this great republic. Over in Arizona, the Democrat running for governor, Katie Hobbs, has refused to get anywhere near a debate with the Republican nominee, Kari Lake, who has become a conservative rock star for her clear and unapologetic takedown of the bias in the press and in the cowardice of her opponent. First, let's hear from Democrat Katie Hobbs talking about her opponent, and then a clip of her opponent, Republican Kari Lake.
Kari Lake has made it clear time and time again that she's not interested in having substantive, in-depth conversations about the issues that matter to Arizonans.
She just came and sat down with me and answered my questions for a lot of minutes.
Let's talk about election deniers. Here's 150 examples of Democrats denying election results. This is from Joe Biden's press secretary. Reminder, Brian Kemp stole the gubernatorial election from Georgians and Stacey Abrams. Hillary Clinton, Trump is an illegitimate president. Is she an election denier?
You know, we are less than 2 weeks from the election. Voters sometimes surprise me, and sometimes they disappoint, and they even disgust me. I mean, they sure did when they didn't elect me president, right? But I have to believe that there are enough Americans who, even if they are longtime Democrats or even philosophical liberals, maybe they'll realize that voting for people who can't tell what a woman is, or who think men can get pregnant, or who believe that we ought to let violent criminals back on the streets to injure and kill again, those folks just aren't smart. Or voting for candidates who think having a wide open border, allowing drugs to flow in, and the trafficking of children to be sex slaves, who think that's okay. Or who believe that inflation isn't really a big deal and think we ought to be thrilled that heating our homes or filling our gas tanks costing twice as much is okay because it'll make us more likely to buy an electric car or eat lawn clippings instead of a ribeye. Not me, I'd take the ribeye any day over the lawn clippings. It is, of course, Sounds like a lot of folks in this audience would rather have the ribeye, too. It is, of course, your vote and your choice. But don't you owe it to yourself to vote for the policies that will protect and empower your families rather than to redefine what a family is? And if you believe that, don't just vote your party, vote your principles. And your children and your grandchildren, they are depending on it. Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Since you're still here, let me share something with you. If you click on the subscribe button below, hit that notification bell next to it, and click the like button, you know what that's going to do? Virtually guarantee that you don't turn into an AOC fanatic. Do it now, before it's too late.